Yo, what's up, chat? We back at it, man, once again. Let me get to the channel here real quick. This should be tripping. We're gonna get into it. Alright, y'all. We on it. Alright, man. So we back at it again. Slap Time Mysteries. The Black Dahlia, a tale of Hollywood darkest mysteries. Man, I'm gonna hit that like button, bro. We're gonna get into it.
The Black Dahlia, a tale of Hollywood's darkest mystery. On January 15, 1947, in a vacant lot near Lemare Park in Los Angeles, a grisly discovery was made. The body of a young woman, brutally murdered, was found lying in the grass. Her name was Elizabeth Short, but the world would come to know her as the Black Dahlia, an enigmatic figure that remains synonymous with the dark side of Hollywood. The murder of the Black Dahlia has captivated the imaginations of true crime aficionados, authors, and filmmakers for decades. The gruesome details, the victim's striking beauty, and the subsequent investigation have cemented the case as one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in American history. With over 75 years past since the crime took place, the question remains: who killed Elizabeth Short? Born on July 29, 1924 in Hyde Park, a suburb of Boston, Massachusetts, Elizabeth Short was the third of 5 daughters born to Cleo and Phoebe Short.
I didn't really
Growing
pay
up,
too
Elizabeth
much
was
to the
known for her
Black Dahlia,
striking
but
beauty
I'm
and
about to get into
captivating
it.
smile. However, she also faced health issues, including severe asthma and bronchitis, which often kept her bedridden. Cleo, Elizabeth's father, was a successful businessman who made his fortune during the roaring 1920s, primarily in the construction and design of miniature golf courses. However, when the Great Depression hit in the 1930s, Cleo's business crumbled and he faced financial ruin. In 1930, Cleo vanished without a trace, leaving his wife Phoebe to care for their 5 daughters alone. When his deserted car was discovered near the Charlestown Bridge, his family tragically concluded that he had taken his own life by leaping into the river. After Cleo's disappearance, the family struggled to make ends meet. Phoebe took on various jobs to support her daughters while the family coped with the presumed loss of their father. In a surprising turn of events, Cleo Short resurfaced in 1942, over a decade after his disappearance. He had been living in Vallejo, California, where he had established a new life for himself and started another family. Elizabeth, then 18 years old, discovered that her father was alive and reached out to him. In 1943, Elizabeth moved in with Cleo, hoping to mend their fractured relationship. However, the reunion was short-lived. The father-daughter relationship was strained, and Cleo was reportedly controlling and domineering. Only after a few months, Elizabeth left her father's home and began to forge her own path. Elizabeth Short's time in California was marked by a series of short-lived jobs and relationships. Though she never achieved the acting career she sought, she became a regular fixture in the Hollywood social scene. With her raven black hair, deep blue eyes, and preference for dark clothing, she cut a striking figure. Her nickname, the Black Dahlia, was allegedly given to her by patrons at a Long Beach drugstore, inspired by the film noir The Blue Dahlia, which had been released the previous year. In the months leading up to her murder, Elizabeth was living in Los Angeles, where she frequented bars and nightclubs and socialized with servicemen and other aspiring actors. Despite her tragic and untimely death, those who knew Elizabeth during her life remembered her as a warm and friendly young woman.
See, I didn't
a
even
far
know her
cry from
real
the
name
image
was
of the femme
Elizabeth.
fatale
I
that
thought her real name was the Black Dahlia. I didn't really know. I heard of her, but I never really paid attention to it. So I'm about to get schooled right now, chat.
would later be perpetuated by the media. On that fateful morning in 1947, Betty Bersinger, a local housewife, stumbled upon the mutilated remains of Elizabeth Short while walking with her 3-year-old daughter. At first glance, Bersinger mistook the body for a discarded mannequin. Upon closer inspection, she realized the horrifying truth and quickly contacted the police. The crime scene was chilling. Elizabeth's body was severed at the waist and drained of blood, leaving her skin a ghastly white. Her face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating a haunting and macabre smile. It was clear that the killer had wanted their handiwork to be seen. The investigation revealed that Elizabeth had been dead for several hours before her body was found. Authorities believed that she had been murdered elsewhere and her body had been transported to the vacant lot. Despite the horrific nature of the crime, there was no blood at the scene, suggesting that the killer had taken great care to clean the body before leaving it on display. The investigation into Elizabeth Short's murder was exhaustive. Over the course of the case, the Los Angeles Police Department, or the LAPD, interviewed more than 150 suspects, generating a staggering 50,000 pages of documentation. The media played a significant role in fueling public interest in the case, often printing lurid and exaggerated accounts of the crime and its investigation. Reporters delved into Short's personal life, uncovering details about her relationships and her aspirations to become an actress. The extensive coverage transformed Elizabeth from a murder victim into a symbol of the dark side of Hollywood glamour. As the investigation continued, the media frenzy intensified. One newspaper went so far as to contact Elizabeth's mother, Phoebe, under false pretenses, informing her that her daughter had won a beauty contest. After extracting personal information from her, the newspaper broke the tragic news of her daughter's death, even offering to fly her to Los Angeles to assist with the investigation. This unscrupulous tactic was emblematic of the sensationalist reporting that characterized the media's treatment of the case. Numerous false confessions were made during the course of the investigation, further complicating matters for the LAPD. The most famous of these came from a man named Joseph Dumais, who claimed to have been drinking with Elizabeth on the night of her murder. Despite the fact that his story didn't hold up under scrutiny, the confession generated headlines and added to the public's fascination with the case. One of the most chilling aspects of the Black Dahlia case was the correspondence between the supposed killer and the authorities. The letters and package sent to the police added an unnerving layer to the already gruesome murder and fueled the public's fascination with the case. In the days following the discovery of Elizabeth Short's body, the killer appeared to taunt investigators, sending letters and personal items that belonged to the victim. On January 23, 1947, just over a week after the discovery of Elizabeth Short's body, the LAPD received a package postmarked from Los Angeles. The envelope contained several personal items belonging to the victim, including her birth certificate, social security card, photographs, and an address book with the name Mark Hansen embossed on the cover. Along with these items was a message made of cut and pasted newsprint. "Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." The appearance of the package indicated that the sender, presumably the killer, had carefully wiped the items clean of fingerprints before sending them. This attention to detail suggested a level of cunning and confidence that was deeply unsettling. The discovery of the address book quickly made Mark Hansen, a Danish-born businessman and nightclub owner, a suspect. However, while it was learnt that Short had stayed at his home on multiple occasions, along with other aspiring actresses, no concrete evidence was ever found to link him to the crime, and he was never charged. The inclusion of the address book in the package added another layer of mystery to the case and further fueled public speculation about the killer's identity and motives. Shortly after the arrival of the package, the Los Angeles Examiner received a letter. This letter, like the message found in the package sent to the LAPD, was composed of cut and pasted newsprint. The message read, "Here it is, turning in Wednesday, January 29th, 10 a.m. Had my fun with police. Black Dahlia Avenger." The implication was clear. The killer intended to turn themselves in, but seemed to be reveling in the fear and confusion they had caused. The date mentioned in the letter came and went, with no sign of the killer. Instead of providing investigators with a resolution to the case, the letters and package only served to deepen the mystery and heighten the public interest in the Black Dahlia murder. The fact that the killer had chosen to communicate with police in this manner, using cut and pasted newsprint, added an eerie and theatrical element to the case, fueling speculation about the killer's identity and motives. In the decades since the brutal murder of Elizabeth Short, a wide range of suspects have been proposed by investigators, authors, and amateur sleuths alike. While no definitive evidence has ever been presented to conclusively link any of these individuals to the crime, their stories offer a fascinating insight into the complex web of theories surrounding the case. One of the most high-profile suspects in the case is Dr. George Hodel, a Los Angeles physician and surgeon who was the subject of a book written by his son, Steve Hodel. In his book, Black Dahlia Avenger, Steve Hodel presents a compelling case for his father's involvement in the murder, pointing to evidence such as his father's surgical skills and a possible link to the lipstick murders that occurred in Chicago in the 1940s. Dr. Hodel's home, the Sowden House, was searched by the LAPD in 1950 in connection with another case, during which they discovered secret recordings of George Hodel discussing the Black Dahlia murder. However, no concrete evidence was ever found to link him to the crime, and he was never officially charged. Another suspect with a medical background is Dr. Walter Bailey, a physician who lived just a few blocks from the vacant lot where Elizabeth Short's body was discovered. Bailey's surgical skills and proximity to the crime scene have led some investigators to consider him a viable suspect. Furthermore, his daughter was reportedly a friend of Elizabeth's sister, raising the possibility of a personal connection between the victim and the alleged perpetrator. However, there is no direct evidence to tie Bailey to the crime, and he passed away in 1948, just a year after the murder, leaving many questions unanswered. Joseph Dumais, a drifter and Army corporal, was among the many individuals who falsely confessed to the murder of Elizabeth Short. Dumais claimed to have been drinking with Elizabeth on the night of her murder and to have accidentally killed her during a drunken argument. Although Dumais was ultimately cleared of any involvement in the crime, his confession generated headlines and added another layer of intrigue to the case. The murder of Elizabeth Short and the subsequent investigation has had a lasting impact on both popular culture and the field of criminal investigation.
So they still don't know who
cited
whacked the
as an
Black
early
Dahlia.
example of
That's
the
crazy.
challenges posed by sensationalist journalism, which often hindered rather than helped the police in their search for the truth. In terms of criminal investigations, the Black Dahlia case has become a cautionary tale about the importance of securing and preserving evidence. The LAPD's handling of the case has been criticized for various missteps, including the loss of crucial evidence and the contamination of the crime scene. More than 75 years after the murder of Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia remains an unsolved mystery, a haunting reminder of the fragility of human life and the darkness that can lurk behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. As the years pass, the likelihood of finding her killer diminishes, but the memory of the Black Dahlia and the chilling circumstances of her death will continue to captivate the public imagination for generations to come.
Damn, that's crazy. They still never found out who killed that lady. Alright, chat, man. I appreciate y'all sliding in, rocking with your boy. Once again, man, don't forget to hit that sub button, hit your post notification bell, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one, family.